Michael stared into the fire, its flickering flames a mirror to the memories of a love now extinguished. He thought of Ashley, their early days when their passion burned brightly enough to chase away all darkness. He could still see her mischievous eyes, radiant smile, and chestnut hair that had made his heart race. Their love had been filled with endless adventures and sleepless nights. He had once believed they would walk life's path together until the very end. But as the years passed, that fire had dimmed, smothered by routine and unspoken disappointments. 4 years into their marriage, passion faded into monotony. Warm embraces became perfunctory touches, and loving words turned hollow. Michael now felt as though he were living with a stranger. He remembered the night he tried to reach her, voice heavy with longing. "I feel like we're drifting apart, Ash. I miss the nights we talked until dawn, the days we couldn't stand to be apart." Ashley's gaze had been cold, unfamiliar. "I'm tired, Michael. I can't be a blazing fire all the time. I need to rest." "I understand," he had replied, "but we can find it again. Don't you feel like something is missing?" Her answer had been sharp, cutting deeper than he expected. "I don't owe you that. I'm your wife, not your toy." The words hit him like icy water. He felt abandoned, betrayed. Still, he fought for their marriage. He planned romantic evenings, cooked meals, even folded laundry, tasks he despised, only to be met with polite thank yous and indifferent kisses. One day, as he folded her clothes, she asked, "What are you doing, Michael? Trying to win me over?" "No, I just want to show you I care." Her smile was faint, devoid of warmth. "I don't need that. I need space." Hopelessness settled over him. How much longer could he fight for someone who had already given up? While Michael drowned in his heartache, Trevor, an opportunistic con man, was setting his sights on Ashley. Charming and predatory, Trevor lived for manipulation. He had watched her, noted her unhappiness, and sensed the emptiness she carried. He knew he could exploit it. Trevor didn't believe in love. His pursuits were driven by power, money, and control. He viewed women as pawns in his games, and Ashley was his next move. He infiltrated her life subtly, always knowing where to find her, always ready with a joke or a compliment, always making her feel noticed. Ashley, weary of her colorless marriage, felt herself drawn to him. Trevor offered the excitement and freedom she craved. He didn't expect perfection or demand adherence to rules. He made her feel vibrant, attractive, alive. Secret meetings at bars and hotels became her new reality. Lies replaced truth in her conversations with Michael. A dual life unfolded, one of exhilaration and guilt. She knew she was betraying her husband and unraveling her marriage, but desire had entangled her too deeply to pull away. Passion had become her prison. Weave lies. Samantha was sharp and observant, a young woman with a creative mind working in graphic design. She had crossed paths with Trevor and Ashley at social events. While she barely knew Ashley, her instincts warned her about Trevor. His charm seemed hollow, his intentions always self-serving. She had heard whispers of his reputation as a manipulator. One evening, Samantha spotted them together at a bar. Their intimate body language, hands intertwined, lingering eye contact, was impossible to ignore. Ashley, a married woman, looked captivated. The scene unsettled Samantha. She shared what she had witnessed with friends who confirmed her suspicions. Trevor was notorious for pursuing married women. Determined to uncover the truth, Samantha began watching him more closely. When she saw them embracing at another party weeks later, the gravity of the situation hit her. Kissing in public, slipping away into the night, this was betrayal in plain sight. Michael, meanwhile, was drowning in confusion. The woman he had built a life with seemed distant, her warmth replaced by cold indifference. Her responses to his concerns were deflective. "What are you thinking, Michael?" Ashley asked one evening as he stared at her. "You look unhappy." "I feel like you're hiding something," he admitted. Her reply was a forced smile. "You're imagining things. I'm just tired." Michael knew better. His gut churned with doubt. He checked her phone, her whereabouts, nothing. She had erased every trace of deceit. His frustration grew until one night she snapped. "I'm done, Michael. I can't do this anymore." "Do what?" he demanded. "You're making this worse." "You never listen," she fired back. "You never understand what I need." "Then tell me," he pleaded. "What do you want?" Her voice was cold. "I'm not happy. I want out." His heart shattered. "You want a divorce?" "Maybe." Her indifference felt like a death blow. One night, as fate would have it, Michael ran into Samantha at a bar. Their conversation, intended as small talk, drifted into deeper territory. Life, love, betrayal. She listened with empathy, and by the end of the night, she couldn't hold back. "Michael," she said gently, "you deserve to know. I've seen Ashley with Trevor. I think you need to hear the truth." Her words landed like a physical blow. She recounted the secret rendezvous, the stolen kisses, the deception. "I'm sorry," Samantha whispered. "I didn't want to hurt you, but you should know." Michael felt as though his world had collapsed. Memories of Ashley's laughter, their shared dreams, and whispered promises flashed through his mind. Were they all lies? He tried calling her. No answer. He texted. No reply. Alone in the dark, he replayed their life together, the love he had fought for, and the betrayal he never saw coming. The next morning, clarity struck like lightning. Anger replaced sorrow. He was furious at Ashley, at Trevor, but most of all at himself for trusting too deeply. He called a lawyer. His decision was made. Divorce. There would be no more pleading, no more false hope. He sent the papers without a word. He didn't need her excuses. Michael packed his belongings, left the home they had shared, and never looked back. A new chapter awaited. A life free of lies, betrayal, and broken promises. A new life begins. After signing the divorce papers, Ashley was consumed by regret. The weight of her choices pressed heavily on her heart. She had thrown away a stable, loving marriage for a fleeting, hollow fantasy. Now, with her life in shambles, she tried desperately to reach Michael, through texts, calls, even visits to his house, but he had shut her out completely. Every attempt bounced off a wall of silence. She was alone, isolated, and burdened by the realization that Trevor had never truly cared for her. He had used her, extracting what he could before vanishing when her money, reputation, and circle of friends evaporated. The charm that once captivated her now felt like a bitter poison. Meanwhile, Michael was reclaiming his life. He focused on rediscovering his passions, spending time with supportive friends, and re-engaging with the world. Mornings began at the gym, afternoons filled with city strolls, and evenings spent in social circles that reawakened his sense of community. Gradually, his confidence returned. He started a new business and thrived, proving to himself that setbacks could be the foundation of success. When he reconnected with Samantha, their bond deepened. They shared their joys, their past pain, and their future dreams. Their relationship grew organically, built on respect, trust, and an honesty forged by experience. Neither rushed. They nurtured a connection rooted in sincerity and mutual understanding. With Samantha, Michael found the peace and fulfillment he once thought impossible. Michael had learned from his trials and emerged stronger. He no longer feared the future. Love, he realized, wasn't about blind trust, but about growth, respect, and knowing one's worth. Yet even with newfound happiness, echoes of the past whispered in his quietest moments. Late at night, alone with his thoughts, Michael wrestled with relentless questions. What if he had fought harder? What if he had recognized Ashley's emotional distance earlier? Could things have been different if he had been a better husband? He replayed conversations, dissected gestures, and searched for hidden truths in memories that now felt tainted. He wondered if Ashley's betrayal was merely a symptom of deeper cracks, or if Trevor was the match that ignited an inevitable collapse. Michael confided these thoughts to Samantha, who listened without judgment. She reminded him that dwelling on the past could only steal the present. "We carry lessons forward, not regrets," she would say. "You've already chosen the right path. Keep walking it." Their shared vulnerability became a source of strength. Samantha opened up about her own experiences with failed relationships, including a broken engagement that had ended not with betrayal, but with the painful realization of incompatibility. Her story resonated with Michael. She taught him to distinguish between fleeting infatuations and enduring love, between emotional band-aids and true connection. Their openness deepened their bond. Michael admired Samantha's authenticity and emotional resilience. He began to see her not just as a partner, but as a kindred spirit, someone who understood the complexities of trust, forgiveness, and love. To channel his lingering restlessness, Michael immersed himself in woodworking. Each project became a journey from chaos to order. Crafting intricate designs from raw material mirrored his own healing process. Commissions poured in, and with every completed piece, he found solace and satisfaction. The studio became his refuge, a place where he shaped beauty from the raw, unpolished fragments of life. Though Trevor remained a distant figure in Ashley's social media posts, his once polished persona had faded. His appearances seemed disheveled and hollow, a far cry from the man who had driven Michael's marriage to ruin. Michael watched with detachment. There was no desire for revenge, no vindictive glee, only sadness. He pitied Ashley, who had sacrificed love for illusion and was now ensnared in a superficial existence. Yet, his sadness wasn't for her alone. It was for the years lost, the potential wasted, and the trust betrayed. He carried these lessons not as burdens, but as reminders of his resilience. In the end, Michael didn't seek closure from others. His journey taught him that healing comes from within, and happiness begins when we choose to let go. Ashley's Dissent. Ashley's whirlwind romance with Trevor began to unravel quickly. The passion that once thrilled her soon gave way to bitter arguments, jealousy-fueled confrontations, and relentless financial pressure. Trevor's charm masked a selfish and demanding nature. He expected Ashley to cater to his every need, showing little regard for her feelings or well-being. His recklessness with money became a growing source of tension. He borrowed endlessly and repaid nothing, leaving her to bear the consequences. As Trevor's true colors emerged, Ashley's life crumbled around her. Friends who had once stood by her drifted away, unable or unwilling to watch her self-destruction. The loneliness that followed was suffocating, a relentless ache that gnawed at her soul. She regretted abandoning the life she had shared with Michael, realizing too late that the independent, carefree persona she had chased was nothing more than a fragile illusion. Her vibrant confidence faded into bitterness. She grew resentful and increasingly desperate as Trevor's irresponsibility compounded their troubles. His gambling habits drained their savings, and his mounting debts soon became her burden. The comfortable life she had taken for granted evaporated before her eyes. Every decision she had made now weighed heavily on her shoulders. She had traded love, security, and stability for a relationship built on deception. The reality of her choices pressed down like a crushing force, and with each passing day, the consequences grew more insurmountable. Desperation drove Ashley to drastic measures. She began selling her possessions, jewelry, designer clothes, anything of value. She considered selling her car and even entertained the dangerous idea of a high-interest loan. Her frantic search for quick cash led her to spend hours scouring the internet, falling prey to scams and get-rich-quick schemes that promised salvation but delivered only deeper despair. Reaching out to family for support offered little solace. Her pleas for help were met with cold skepticism and harsh criticism. Her actions had alienated everyone who once cared for her. Alone and spiraling, she sank further into isolation. One night, after yet another explosive fight with Trevor about money, Ashley reached her breaking point. The lies, betrayals, and mounting anxiety boiled over. She confronted him with raw, unfiltered rage, accusing him of his deceit, his reckless abandon, and his complete disregard for her. Trevor, unmoved, met her fury with scorn. He deflected her accusations, firing back insults and pinning the blame squarely on her. "You ruined your own life," he sneered, reminding her of her betrayal of Michael. His words pierced her deeply, confirming her darkest fears and amplifying her self-loathing. As the fight ended, Trevor stormed out, leaving Ashley alone in their hollow, joyless apartment. She sat amidst the wreckage of her choices, consumed by the ruin her life had become. Samantha's unwavering support and love became the cornerstone of Michael's healing journey. She revealed to him that true love wasn't about ownership or control, but about granting freedom, fostering respect, and nurturing mutual understanding. Through her patience and kindness, she helped him discover beauty in imperfections, wisdom in mistakes, and the profound strength found in genuine human connection. She taught him to live fully in the present, treasure the simple joys of life, and gaze toward the future with renewed hope and boundless optimism. Their relationship stood as living proof that love could bloom again after even the deepest heartbreak. It was a story of redemption, a reminder that second chances do exist, healing is possible, and a happily ever after is attainable for those willing to believe. As Michael and Samantha envisioned their future, they embraced a life built on shared dreams, enduring respect, and a love that was steadfast. They understood that their path would be marked with trials and challenges, but they also knew they possessed the strength, resilience, and devotion to face any obstacle together. Their story wasn't just one of broken hearts mended, but a celebration of resilience, the triumph of hope, and the endless promise of new beginnings. It taught that even in life's darkest chapters, there is always a guiding light, and the chance to rediscover love, joy, and fulfillment remains within reach. The tale concludes with Michael and Samantha standing hand in hand, gazing out over the endless ocean, feeling a deep and abiding peace. The echoes of the past still whispered in their hearts, but no longer as wounds, rather as a testament to the strength they had gained and the love they had built. The shattered fragments of their lives had been lovingly reassembled into a mosaic more radiant and meaningful than either had ever imagined.